Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guru, Swami Jyotirmayananda Maharaj, to all the sages and saints of this world, and to you divine souls watching this satsang on Samadhi Pad of Patanjali Maharaj in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Today we are studying Sutra number 7. So let us get into it. The Sutra, we pronounce each sutra twice so you can understand the Sanskrit pronunciation, and also hearing it is very auspicious because this is how it was originally written by sage Patanjali. Then of course we try to convert it into we break the sutra itself by word, which is transliteration, and then I explain the meaning of each of those sutra components, and then we analyze it deeper. And I think that's the best way for us to truly understand something in a deep and profound way. But if you ever have questions, please feel free to comment on the YouTube channel, and also please share this wisdom with as many people as you can. This is the ancient treasure of Sanatana Dharma, which is now slowly getting disintegrated because of all the other things in this busy world that we are in. People are very worldly. They have forgotten this nectar of knowledge that resided in the old sages and saints, and this wisdom. So my attempt is to try to recreate that and give genuine, true, honest knowledge as existed long time ago. These days there are so many different sects opening up, religions opening up, but each one wants you to be restricted into their periphery, into their compartment, and that is really not spirituality. That is kind of just control in a way, and that you don't grow like that. Sages and saints encourage us to think, analyze, connect to God, be free, get knowledge from different sources, but have one guru that you can honestly trust and share your inside feelings and grow under his guidance. This is what the original Guru Shishya Parampara used to be. But anyway, so today's shloka number 7 is Pratyaksha Anumanagamaha Pramanani. Pratyaksha Anumana Agama Pramanani. So Pratyaksha means direct perception, direct. You can see it, for example. We'll talk about the meaning of it, but Pratyaksha means direct perception, no confusion. Anumana is inference. You infer about something. And Agama means testimony. And Pramanani are the right types of right knowledge, different types of right knowledge. So the meaning therefore becomes the direct perception, inference, and testimony are the three types of right knowledge, Praman. So what a beautiful thing. See, sage Patanjali, he has dissected everything. Like Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna everything in very minute, explicit detail, and sage Patanjali is doing the same thing from a yogic perspective. He assumes, that these are all the things, and if we want to really grow, how should we sharpen our dimensions, knowledge, skill, thinking, so we are a well-oiled machine and we are able to acquire the wisdom we are seeking. So direct perception, inference, and testimony are the three types of right knowledge. So how do we explain this? That in order to arrive at the right knowledge or anything, one uses either one of these three methods, or two of them, or all of the three together in coming up with conclusions. And that is what science is all about. That is what, generally most human beings deal on their day-to-day basis. So the first one, which is the direct perception, is your direct sense perception. It's adopted by the vast majority of people. It is the direct sense object contact. When you say, for example, someone says, I you know a mango because you're seeing a mango. You say, here it is, I can see it's on the tree, and there's no doubt about it. Anybody who sees it will say, yeah, there's the mango. And then you can taste it, you can touch it, you can smell it, etc. And same thing, like when you sit on a chair, you know it's a chair, there's no confusion about it. So these things are your direct perception. You can sit on it, etc. One feels the heat of the sun, the coolness of the ice, the sweetness of the sugar, the saltiness in the salt. All these are your direct perceptions. Therefore, that knowledge is the best knowledge, because there is no confusion at all. One experiences headache, pain, grief, worry, happiness directly. You know you're happy, you know you're sad, right? So these are all examples of pratyaksha pramana, or direct perception. Now the second method, which is arriving at right knowledge, is the adoption of inference, or we call it anuman, inference. So how do we explain this? For example, we see smoke on a hill, and when you see the smoke, you say, oh, there must be some fire somewhere. What's going on? Why is there smoke coming out? You automatically jump to the conclusion there is a fire. So, and we see when we see the peace and bliss on the face of a sage, we infer that his aura is awesome, that he must have something beautiful going on in his heart, and you feel the peace yourself. So you're inferring all those things, although you're not visibly seeing it. It's just that feeling of the aura and the feeling in your heart is making you feel like that. And when you're seeing the smoke, you're not seeing the fire, you're only seeing the smoke, but you know the fire is creating the smoke. Therefore, it's a logical conclusion, although you haven't witnessed it. We see power, majesty, and glory, etc. So the third method is the testimony or authority of competent person. So that is what's called pramanani or agama, testimony. Agama, that is called the testimony. So when an expert says, when a scientist says, water has 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen, and that's how the chemical compound is made. If you are not educated, you trust his opinion. Same thing happens when a doctor makes a statement or a comment and explains you something. You just trust him. When a pilot takes you from one point to another, you don't know how to fly, but you trust his capability, and therefore you use their authority as the basis of that knowledge. So therefore, this is called the agam. So when a sage declares that the life in Atman is the joy of ocean and it's divine and everything else is transient, that is the goal, etc., etc., we believe on the authority of the intuition of the sages. All the sages, scriptures, guides, all the people who have given up their life on this path of self-realization, they are our authority. We haven't seen God, nobody has seen him, but yet when these people through their experience are saying these are the experiences they've had, and you somehow connect to that, there is that authority, their whole life has gone in it. So just like you believe in authority figures in your daily life, you also believe them in your spiritual dimension. That is if you want to grow. Otherwise the choice is clear, evident. I mean, people can do or not do, it's up to them. There is yet another example. Instead of the sage example, let's use another example. You have a friend who's been to London, but you have not been to London. See? So now he says, in London, I did this, I went to the airport looks like this, the taxis look like this, the people look like this, the food is like such, I watched this show, I did this business, and the streets are like this, the driving's on this side, and so on. He shares and shares his experience. So what do? Not gonna believe him? You believe him because of course you know he went to London, and therefore he has that knowledge that you don't have. So what choice do you have but to believe him and to believe in his basics that he's sharing with you? So therefore, this is what the beauty of this knowledge is. All three are right knowledge. So either you see something red is red, black is black, you know it. Or you basically hear something through, you infer something, the second one through smoke, fire and smoke example that I shared with you. And the third one is you trust an authority who tells you those things. In Sanatana Dharma, of course, it's the Guru Shishya Parampara if you're walking on the spiritual path, and therefore you trust the authority. And I showed you some worldly examples as well as to how that would work. So that is Sutra number 7 of what right knowledge is, the 3 types of right knowledge. And I hope you're enjoying this Sutra series of Patanjali Maharaj, and so beautifully explained by our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda, and of course my humble attempts to try to bring some clarity to you from my long association with Swamiji. But if you have any questions, I'm always open, available. You can send me an email or a comment on YouTube or Messenger or any which way you would like, and I will be sure to get back with you. But in the meanwhile, please continue to share this wisdom with others, subscribe to the channel, and if you click the bell icon, then you can get my daily updates as well. But the intent is for us to spread this Sanatana Dharma wisdom to other people, because in this Kali Yuga, not many people understand how important it is to have peace and happiness. Everybody is running after resources, money, name, fame, but what's missing is peace of mind. And this yoga gets you both. You get success as well as peace of mind. So you can have it all, really, in other words, but there's a process to it, and that's our goal, to try to bring that process to you in simple terms. Om Tat Sat.